Welcome back to Takis McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour. I'm Tim Takis, and we're talking today about young onset dementia.
And I'm Barbara McGinnis. When you have that young onset, what kind of community resources, where do you turn for help? One of the resources we have with us is Lynn Wood, Aging Services Coordinator with Mental Health America of the MidSouth. Right?
Of the MidSouth, yes. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thanks, Lynn. So how common is younger onset dementia? Who gets it, and how do you help them?
Well, I think we've heard that through our programming today. It is a low percentage, 5 to 10%, and you want to know the age group is normally after 45 or in those 40 to 50s is early onset. So what we do know is that the symptoms and everything are the same. The process is still happening. It's just happening to someone who is younger. So the community resources that we offer are for those caregivers. We want to give the care to the caregiver who is living with that person who is living with the disease of Alzheimer's and or dementia.
Right. So we know that, we don't really know what causes.
We don't.
Why it's younger, why it strikes some people, why it others. So we really don't need to get into that, perhaps.
We don't know what starts it. A lot of times it could be contributed to a stroke, some sort of lack of blood going to the brain. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a counselor. So our organization is a nonprofit, and we do focus on the resources and information and the education of our mental health for the whole population.
Yeah, not just the young onset.
Not just the young onset. Again, our programming, we do programming for normal aging versus not normal aging, which we heard the doctor talking about that. But it is also how to approach that person who's living with dementia, whether it's early onset or later onset. It's still being able to have that loved one have a productive life, a quality of life, being able to develop those memories in that stage that you're in. Instead of looking forward to what might happen, let's enjoy what's going on right now. And that's where I can come in and work with families with our programming to help make that successful.
What kind of programs are available for the younger onset dementia?
Well, it would be the things to say and things not to say. Again, you're working with someone who is of a younger age, so the communication changes just a little bit. Also, the roles are usually different. In our senior population, we do see that men were the head of the household. In our younger demographic, it's usually an equal partnership. So we heard from our loved one who has a husband with dementia, so now she's taking on those financial roles and things of that nature. We have one-on-one groups where I can meet specifically with someone who is a caregiver for someone with dementia, and that's where I would listen to what they are specifically going through, because dementia, we can have the diagnosis or the symptom of dementia, but it's going to affect everyone differently. So I look at what is happening specifically with that family group and then offer those direct resources. If it's bathing assistance, toileting assistance, sleeping better, keeping the house safe from someone who wanders, that's where really my role comes in, is to help provide that caregiver with the quality of life and be able to keep their loved ones safe and at home if possible.
Right, so that's the Mental Health America, the MidSouth program. I think it's the in-home caregiver program?
In-home caregiver program. And I don't have to go in-home. I can go to libraries or doctor's offices or waiting rooms or wherever that family needs me to be. And we do cover 13 counties. So I can go into Montgomery County, Stewart County. There's quite a number of McDonald's along the way that I can sit in.
So let's see, so I think there's the in-home caregiver program, which is either in-home or not.
Wherever you want me.
There's the communicating effectively with healthcare professionals, is that right?
There is
Tell
that.
us about what that means.
It's training that caregiver that's going to work in an assisted living or in a memory care or in a independent living. Being able to teach that caregiver the appropriate way to direct and redirect someone, instead of just saying, what do you want to wear today? say, it's Miss Smith, would you like to wear your blue blouse or your yellow blouse?
Okay, so that's for providers in
That's
effect.
for the providers.
Gotcha.
That's for the healthcare professionals,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay. And then there's a Just the Facts class?
Our Just the Facts class is a 4-week class. It's an hour and a half and 4 consecutive weeks. And it starts dementia and Alzheimer's from the beginning and it goes to the end. And it really talks about what's happening in the brain, how to redirect, some of the other disease processes that are out there. We do get into legal issues. I don't. Your group has helped us out with that. And it's also
That would be Take Us McGinnis,
Take
of
Us
course.
McGinnis, yes.
Thank you.
And we'll get that plug in there.
That's right. You'll be next. So,
Yeah. Thank you. So it is a 4-week class, and so at the end of the class, they've just received materials on how to deal with the process, and they can take it home and then share it. And then we also talk about support groups and how important that is to find that niche so that you can have that group of support outside of the home. You need support in the home, but then also outside the home as well.
Right.
Wow. What's your greatest tip for family members that are trying to live with this?
Don't argue. You're not going to win. It's that thing. You want to agree and move on. Really keeping in mind that the person living with the process, they can't change. They're the way they are. What I do as an aging services coordinator is to work with the families to be able to make the cognitive changes to do things differently to that person who's living with dementia, because again, they are the way they are. This is what's going to happen. The only way to make a successful and good quality relationship is how do I approach that loved one now, keeping with dignity and respect.
Right. So we're going to put your contact information up,
Okay,
and I'm going to
sounds
ask
great.
you while we get that, what do these programs cost?
We are a free service. We are a nonprofit,
Awesome.
so my time is free and all my resources
13
are
county
free.
area, right?
13 county areas, yes.
All right.
So,
And
Lynn,
so-
we really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I know we've just scratched the surface about
We have
what,
just
what
scratched the
you
surface.
guys can do.
So.
All right, so I'm Tim Takis, and for more information about the organizations and the topics that we've discussed today on Takis McGinnis Elder Care Law Hour, please go to our website and click on the News Hour tab, and be sure to tune in again next time for more candid discussions about issues involving aging, disability, and unexpected illness. Thanks for watching.